as a mentor of mine would say, he said, I promise when you have these conversations, you're not going to die, right? Right? Like somehow I'm going to die, or this person's going to die, or something horrible is going to happen if I have this conversation, right? It's just a conversation. Exactly. But this idea that, I've got control of other people's emotions, and something horrible is going to happen if we have this conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, do you know who's the best example of someone who does the opposite of it?
Who?
The gentleman on your wall behind you.
Oh, are you talking about Dwight Schrute?
Regional manager, Dwight K.
Yes.
Schrute. He would always ask for what he wanted. He would always go out of the way. And then sometimes it made him look like he was very needy or very trying to manipulate the situation. But he was always very clear with his intentionality. I will one day become regional manager of this.
Right.
Right? So there was not, what is everybody going to think about me? I know this in my bones. I know this is what I'm born to do. I know this is what I need to do. Right? Now, the miss was that he didn't leverage everybody around him to help support him until the end, right? But it was, but I think that's, a good example of like asking for what you want, asking for what you need is something that people are very difficult, have difficulty with, whether it's at a restaurant or not. And it's funny enough, I'll share a very quick story about this. I have a friend of mine who happens to be American, moved to Israel many years ago, and he was coming back to run a program here for a couple of years. And the week before that, he was in Jerusalem, and there was a Sbarro's Pizza in Jerusalem. And I don't know if you remember, around 2001, there was the bombing in Sbarro's. He was there inside the pizzeria during that time. And what saved his life is that he said, I typically don't ask if anything comes back to my table cold or missing something. I don't want to bother anybody. But that day he decided, because the pizza was cold, to send it back. And then they said to him, don't worry about it. We'll go, we'll bring it out to you. And he's like, you know what? I'm not going to sit in the front. I'm going to go into the upstairs area. It's a little bit more quiet. And the fact that he asked for the pizza to be sent back saved his life. He asked for what he wanted.
Wow.
For the first time in how long he can remember.
That's a
so
great
that's
story.
What I want to impress into people, that like it is a life and death scenario sometimes.